Hi everyone, hope you're good. Welcome. So, we are going to talk about some profit taking today, obviously, because it's the most common topic of all. Even in my previous lives, people have been asking me, can you do some profit taking, please? Because I'm struggling. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the market. The market's looking pretty okay-ish at the moment. Still climbing. Still looking good. Even on the likes of CoinGecko, we've had a bit of a climb in the BTC pairs too, which is always good to see. Last 24 hours, we've had some monster, like Graph, for example, has been fucking nuts, man. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, please do like this, share it, say hello, send it all over the place. My channel's been picked up a little bit by the algo recently, so I may get my little wish of having maybe an extra 5,000 subscribers in a month instead of like 2. But which will be good, obviously. So yeah, let me know where you're from. Let me know what you're doing this weekend and whatnot. You know, a bit of engagement, always good to see. But as always, I'm going to waffle for an hour or so probably and talk about a bit of fun. Everything is looking hunky-dory though, providing Bitcoin behaves itself. And we'll go over some profit taking, we'll go over some coins that I like, coins that I bought, RSR smashing new numbers and making me feel really happy and excited and really giddy. Zilliqa potentially going for a run soon because it's looking like it's broken historic levels of resistance. It's looking very, 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 very good. Oh, we've got 69 likes, boys and girls. Is that it? Come on. But yeah, usually this warms up after a few minutes, so I'll just wait and waffle for a bit before I start going through the meaty bits, which is taking profit, what I've done recently with my profits. If you've not seen my Twitter, feel free to follow me on Twitter. But let's talk about some coins that have been smashing it, large ones, in the last 24 hours. So Graph, my video yesterday, unbelievable, wasn't it? I was saying, just wait for it to pull back a little bit because it's only gone up 600% in 28 days. It's just gone and done another whoopsie and gone even further. Crazy gains, absolutely monstrous. I remember covering it and I really liked it. Didn't buy it though. Bit of a rookie mistake there. But that being said, I wanted to do well because I've obviously bought into Reef and I think Reef will do well too. What questions have we got? Hi everyone. Hi. What are my thoughts about holding altcoins until August? I don't know. Depends on the dominance. If the dominance drops like a rocket or a stone or a brick or a lead brick, whatever, you know, I want it to be to the point where dominance is low. And then I'll probably cash a lot of my altcoins out for Bitcoin and then probably come back to them. Most people know how I do it in terms of dominance is an entry and exit bubble indicator essentially. So that's kind of good. But yeah, I always have my eyes on certain things and full on alt season's pretty much here now. It's pretty damn cool. It's awesome. Reef. Yes. Learning a lot from Learning Crypto Group. Good to see you, Claudia. Who else have we got? Thought on Tomo. I've not looked at Tomo Chain for a long time. Would you recommend taking profit into other altcoins? Yeah, all the time. Risk-free money is the best money. It removes that psychological barrier in your head that, oh, I've just put 10 grand into an altcoin. I really could have used that for something in the house. But if you've got profit anyways, put it into something. That's what I did with Reef. So Reef, I took profit on a few things, not the ones that you're going to see on this video. I've moved my VeChain into Reef. But that being said, moving money that you've made before and you've got a good chunk of equity on a lower cap coin means more money in the long run, potentially, if it goes well. Zill versus Elrond. Zilliqa for me, personally. To be honest with you, very, very similar. Best buy for now. I'd say Reef, you know. Reef's still in a good place. Big bags of Reef. Do you know CoinMarketCap? I do. I use it quite a bit. I've not used it for a while though. Although, that being said, this has now got some stuff on it in terms of events and shit. It's only for events, like big events, but CoinMarketCap, if most people don't know what it is, it's essentially the place for everything in terms of future releases for coins. So say for example you've bought into a coin. I don't know. Let's find something random. Let's yep. Sorry, confused. I don't know. Wow, I've got my old listings here from years ago. Let's have a look at Lisk, for example. What's happening? Not a lot. You're going to find what's happening. Personally, what I like to do, I like to go into the highlights page and see what's like kind of significant, kind of big, coins with potential. What's happening with Pundi? Someone mentioned Pundi before. There we go. Supply reduction proposal. Oh, that's interesting. I used to like Pundi because I covered it like 2 years ago nearly. They just completely fucked it up, basically, I think. And I think that supply reduction is going to be a big indication of where it could go. I think the supply was far too big. It just didn't work out. But hey ho, they may rescue it. I don't know. I don't actually hold any. Yeah, we'll see. Anyways, other questions. By the way, guys, if I miss you, sorry. You know, there's a lot of questions. I missed a few people last time. It was absolutely crazy. Hello everyone. Hi. Bitcoin is dropping. Yeah, let it drop. It's fine. Don't worry about Bitcoin. Worry about the dominance. Altcoins. Do you take profit short term into Tether or straight into BTC? It depends what I'm doing. So if I want to lend and make passive income into USDC, if I want to keep some spare money around, I will put it into Tether. And if I'm looking for long-term investments, I will use Bitcoin essentially. You know, there's a varied measurements of when I do things, basically. So all the ones that you're going to see in terms of profit taken from the recent little scrappings and scraps of random CAC that I had recently, and they've made some decent money, I put it mainly into Bitcoin. And one of them went into Reef, essentially, along with other stuff. Thanks for calling me a legend. People are stupid. Yeah. I sold VET. Yes, I did. I'll go into that in a minute. I actually sold a lot of VeChain in September, not so much yesterday. Where are you streaming from? I am from the sunny, beautiful planet Earth. There we go. My thoughts on Cardano. Yes, I like it a lot. And I do think there's going to be some monsterish news coming out. I think Charles is teasing us still with stuff. Elron copied Zill. Yeah, I can relate to that in terms of certain things I've read. Oh my god, there's so many questions, man. Oh dear, what's happening? Hi everyone. Sorry if I miss you, soz. You know, you just have to scream out, put it into capitals. Other questions, and then I'll do some really cool stuff. Then I'll show you some basic stuff. Best way to invest $1,000? Put it into cryptocurrency. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's really good. Makes money very, very fast if you know what you're doing. Not an easy industry to know what you're doing. BTC dominance is making head and shoulders. Anyone noticed? I have, kind of. It's, in all fairness, it's in a downtrend. It's going to pop up and then reject potentially. It's making a series of lower lows, lower highs. It's an obvious trait for a downtrend. I'm watching Polkadot right now on the top bar. You can't see it. It's currently going up a bit more. $26.60, which is good to see. Reef predictions. I'll come on to Reef in a bit. Can you explain the BTC dominance and how it works? Yes, remind me. I will probably forget because I've got a memory like a goldfish. Uterus, is it going to go up much? Yes, probably. I have sold it though, but you know, I'll explain my reasonings. So yeah, hi everyone. It's great to have you. Honestly, it's crazy. I will come back to questions. So you know, if you want me to cover things, let me know, and I will go over stuff. But I want to talk about profit taking because it's the most. It's the obvious one, right? But it's also the hardest one. Oh, hello. Sorry, distracted. I told you I get distracted. They've just added a new thing called Polkadot ecosystem. Look at it. You know something, I'm so bullish on Polkadot, it's unreal. It's actually scary. But let's be honest. You're not going to make money in this industry if you don't take profit, right? That's it. Unrealized profit is not profit. Often, and today actually, it's been happening. It's been doing my tits in, right? I wanted to throw people out windows and stuff today. People complaining about me taking profits on certain assets, but at the end of the day, they were my smallest bags. I wanted to get some more Bitcoin just to chill on it, for example, balance my portfolio a tiny little smidgen because I didn't really want to have small bags just sitting there and potentially just, yeah, I'm not really going to be that fussed if they moon because obviously it's got to do some real big moves for it to really make a big impact on my portfolio. So I thought, you know what, take some profit. Bitcoin is a great little hold, and also so is buying into a new project with a bit more clout, say. Clout, I like that word, a bit of clout. So, when I go to my tweet, this is what I've done. And as I say, I like to be transparent, I like to say things. These were my baby bags, right? I bought Voyager for a very, very small fee. I didn't expect within 3 months, by the way, that would have happened. Also, my VeChain bag. Now, I really like VeChain, but I rinsed the living shit out of it in September, right? Basically, I had quite a lot. So I first invested in VeChain in 2017. I made a lot of money, had a bit of stable currency from that previous level before I lost quite a bit of it and, you know, I fucked up a bit. But anyways, that's the thing. I then bought a load more at the floor in the bear market, and then I held a load, and then VeChain had a monstrous Bitcoin rally in the BTC pair in September, or June to September. It was a big one. We're nowhere near that level even now. And I left basically 100,000, give or take, on the exchanges, just waiting for me to do something with it. Small profit, but at the end of the day, cost basis, nice. At the end of the day. When you go then into Utrust again was just a small bag that I had. And again, small little profit, but at the same time, I'm kind of looking elsewhere thinking, well, how far can it go? I don't know. If it goes to $1, great. But even if it goes to $1, it's not really going to change the reflection of my portfolio. So that is why I took profits on these three. But the reasoning why and making a little bit of money there is to balance out my portfolio so I'm not overexposed in essentially two lower cap coins essentially. Utrust is what, 170, 180 million market cap, and I think Voyager, I'm not sure what Voyager is now. Voyager's obviously mooned quite a lot. You know, you got to remember volatility and having to keep the wealth. Obviously, it's doing well. It's 500 Satoshis higher than when I sold this, but doesn't matter. I've made peace with it. What is the market cap of this bad boy? Market cap is currently 736 million, which is pretty decent. So it's getting better, but this has been very, very volatile at the same time too over the last few days. But with this, it allows me to get extra capital into the market for other things and also be a lot more stable. Most people don't understand profit. And that's the annoying thing with especially if you're new. The biggest problem we've got is other YouTubers, other people, reports written that X, Y, and Z is going to go up to this level. Sometimes it never, ever, ever happens. And you sat there holding it, waiting for it to happen. You need to realize profit before everything really goes bang. No one's going to sell tops or buy bottoms. It never happens, right? At the end of the day, within 3 months, essentially, my portfolios went from, let's just say, for example, this, to 16 grand on my 3 of my tiniest banks, right? Look at Voyager, for example. Absolutely monstrous run. It's scary at the end of the day. But this is all taken from my Coinly, so you can kind of see the statistics. Obviously, they're all profit. It's all done. It's all tracked. It's all lovely. And that's the beautiful thing with it. At the end of the day, you need to take profit to realize the gains. Simple as that. You can't not carry on just holding a coin. The only benefit for holding a coin for life is, one, you don't pay tax. That is it. You know, that is simply it, which is absolutely nuts. We've got some right lunatics in the chat. Cool. Nice to see. Anyways, why do people want to see my portfolio? I mean, you can see my portfolio on previous videos. The only thing is now I've removed VeChain, I've removed Utrust, and I've removed Voyager. All the rest remain. The added one is the obvious, which is Reef, which I've talked about quite a lot. But when we talk about dominance chart, obviously I'll go through it now. You buy altcoins when this is at its highest, and you start taking profit when it gets lower and lower into Bitcoin because the Satoshi values will be growing. So basically, it's an entry and exit mechanism. Entering into altcoins when it's at its high, obviously as high as you possibly can, you know, in the BTC pairs if you got Bitcoin or USD. The problem with USD is obviously Bitcoin. If USD prices rocket because Bitcoin's gone up and Bitcoin then dips and it drops, well, you're going to cry a little bit. The best way to do it is using Bitcoin. It makes so much more logical sense. It's also a great bubble indicator, this as well. So the lower it goes, the chances are people are going to then take profits from altcoins into Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin's going to get dominant again and carry on going up. That's kind of usually how it works. So if this is a weekly time frame, you can see it's been quite aggressive. Elon Musk obviously appeared and go, hey, we've just bought Bitcoin, Tesla. And then obviously it's coming down. We were retesting this level of support, which has been holding before in the past a few times. We need it to break. If we break below that level, altcoins are going to go pretty mental. It's going to be face melting. Wow, I've just looked at RSR. That is pretty awesome. Good to see. So with that, as I say, if you've been holding altcoins and buying altcoins at this point, you would have been up quite a lot in Satoshi values right now. If you've been buying altcoins down here and you've been watching it go all the way up, as I've explained a few times in previous videos, your Satoshi values will be bleeding, which is never a good thing. Never a good thing at all. But at the end of the day, go for it. So let me explain my VeChain, because I know people are asking questions. So if I go to, I've taken up a watch list. I've held VeChain, as I mentioned before, for a long time. So I had it in Ven. I had it back in the day before the coin swap. And when you look at the BTC pair of this, yes, it's still undervalued, but I sold at these levels. I've did a video on it. It's on the advanced course on learning crypto. You can see the profit levels that I took on this. I had a huge amount at the low levels, and it was an opportunity to bin it and make a hell of a lot of money in the market conditions. I still kept some, I still liked it, but what I didn't do in this year or the previous 6 months, I didn't add to it. Not because I didn't like it or didn't want it anymore. I just feel that a $3 billion market cap coin, I could put the money elsewhere. This made me a lot of money because it's a really big pump. Even now, you're going to probably maybe raise a doubt and think, will it ever go there again? It might do, but you got to think these moves in the BTC pair are a lot bigger than what you get in a lot smaller, sorry, in USD pairs because the metric is different. So with that, I made a good chunk, a very, very good chunk. Considering I had profit from a previous pump of 2017, 2018, I then had profit to put into this at the lows, and yeah, it did very, very well. I sold a good chunk of my bag, and the remaining load I just got rid of and put it into Reef as extra capital to give me a bit of a bigger bag, essentially. Smaller bag than what I would have had if, essentially if I didn't use this equity and other equity I had laying around from further profits. At the end of the day, though, everyone's opinion is different on what coin is going to do well. There's certain coins that I like, certain coins you like, certain coins that people will hold forever, essentially. Like my relationship with Polkadot, I love it. I think Polkadot will be a core hold. Certain profits will be going into Polkadot just to bulk that position as it's getting towards certain levels. But some things I will flip, I will remove, I will get rid of because I may think that they've ran. I've got to think to myself, VeChain, where can it go in the future? Well, what are the chances of me making more multiples if I keep VeChain at this level and only have 100,000 and dollar cost average up, or if I just buy into Reef, for example? That's the example that I used at the time, which is what I did. When I look at VeChain versus Reef, for example, they're both totally different. This is obviously 3 trillion market cap, which is cool. It's made me money. It's made a lot of people money. It's a great, solid asset, and I will always back it. But investment-wise, I think I've ran this horse dry, essentially, in my opinion. For this to do monster moves, for it to then double again, it's 6 billion, and then double again, it's 9 billion. It's starting to get to a point where it's like, oh, okay, we'll see what happens. But the valuations are going to always become a bit harder to get when the multiples shrink. When you then look at the likes of Reef as an example why profit and making wealth is good, this is $125 million. No products yet. Bit of panic in the air because of the supply chain. But at the end of the day, DeFi is huge. There's more volume going into DeFi. There's more opportunity for growth in DeFi versus a supply chain coin. So that's all the reasoning to it. This will create a lot more wealth versus VeChain, essentially. VeChain's obviously, 6 years in the game now versus this. That's the way I do it, and that's why this title of this video is very, very important. Growing wealth. If you take the profit from stuff that's done well in the past and move it into a newer, better opportunity, essentially, for multiples, you're going to see some very, very interesting results, and it does work. Voyager, for example, on my tweet, So just to let you know with this as well, Voyager was essentially just bits and bobs that I had laying around. Some of it was basic attention token from ages ago. Some of it was random stuff from little bits and bobs from the Earn program in Coinbase that I just had, and I just lumped it into something that I thought, you know what? America's a bit rubbish for buying cryptocurrency. I might just go back into Voyager. I did a bit of research, thought, you know what? Why not? Crack on. You know, absolutely. Look at the results. Even if I put $200 in that, it would have created some unbelievable results. Sometimes they bang, and you've got to realize profits and then move it around. You know, at the end of the day, you have to take profits or you will not grow. Simple as that. Anyways, I shall get back to some questions. It's great to have so many people here, by the way, especially on a Friday afternoon. Usually you don't get as many, but if you are new, please do subscribe to the channel. Please, obviously, like the video. I'll be doing a video tomorrow as well. By the way, just something a little bit different. I don't normally do Saturdays, but I thought, why not? Let's have a look at RSR, because we're finally broken out. I've been moaning for weeks about this. On previous lives, I've been saying this is the level we need a break for us to go hurtling. We are into that hurtle phase now. 7.1 cent, lovely. And obviously the Satoshis are starting to grow. So if you've been dollar cost averaging in this, in Bitcoin, you're probably flush right now. You're probably laughing. I bought, oh God, when did I buy this? September, October time, in terms of essentially these lows down here. Been buying, been waiting for it to pop. Pretty happy it has, to be honest with you. Dominance is still dropping. Even XRP today is pumping. Even you can see all kinds of random stuff. Polkadot starting to go now. So Friday pumping is here. But yeah, in terms of Reef though, you know, I know people are asking what is Reef. Reef is essentially DeFi on the Polkadot ecosystem, so essentially like Aave and Compound. We obviously know how good and powerful those are and how much is locked into them. That's important. You know, when you're looking at that, bear with me. When you're looking at that as a thing, you know, we've got a metric there to target, and that's where the risk is. The risk is, can Reef achieve the same level of success as the Ethereum blockchain ones, even with limited, you know, is it limited? Yes, it is limited. Let's be honest. Ethereum's limited in terms of its throughput. It's got high expensive fees. Polkadot doesn't. It has better security. It's got higher throughput. It's got less fees. The DeFi world on, you know, Polkadot essentially could be much better than what we know right now in terms of the ecosystem on Ethereum. So that is obviously very important for obvious reasons. Anyways, questions on all of this. Oh my God, I've probably missed a load. I don't even know where to start from, I'll be honest with you. Am I still bullish on Zilliqa? Yes, massively. I did take a small bit of profit though. I'm not going to tell you percentages, but it was a $300 bag worth a hell of a lot more. By the way, I bought it less than a cent, so you could probably work out why I took a little bit, tiny bit out. It was a small bag. But the greatest thing with it, it was a decent sized bag in terms of like metrics versus Ethereum. It cost me nothing to send money out of Zilliqa. If I was to send the exact same amount through Ethereum, it would have cost me like $80 or something stupid. Not even, probably even more than that, to be fair, depending on what time it would have been. But that's a thing. Like, you got to look at why is everything expensive? Demand. People, newbies, hi everyone. People who will be asking you questions about something stupid that you've never even heard people talk about before. I've got family friends who are old and I would never have entertained cryptocurrency until now. That's the thing. So everything's expensive for that reason. What other question have we got? Am I still bullish on Reef? Yes. I don't know why though people are reacting really badly to the supply change, because I think the supply is good. Regardless, the supply is going to get leaked out over a period of time, which is fine. It's not going to happen overnight, and yeah, it's having a bit of a wobble. Good dipping opportunity though, in my opinion. Let's have a little look at Reef in BTC values. How we're looking? Still looking all right, to be fair. 89 satoshis. That's all right, you know. Still a good place to be. Is there one size fits all exit plan, or do you just tailor it based on the coin? Yes, coins. It depends on developments, what they're bringing out, how much they've done in the past and growth. Essentially, if I've made a 20-30x, for example, in certain things, I may be thinking, you know what, I should probably remove my position, or some of my position at least, just in case, because I've been in positions where I've seen my money go like that and then go, where did that go? You know, everyone's got that sort of experience. It happens. Doesn't matter how good it is. Is it time to take profits on RSR? Nah, not yet. I'm not yet anyways. It's looking good, don't get me wrong. Depends when you bought though. Like for me, I bought below a cent, a decent chunk. So I alluded to when I started buying, it was around this sort of period, September, October time, which was quite a low level. Something like 74 million market cap. It's now 662. But I value this as a longer term hold, like the likes of Utrust and the likes of VeChain and even Voyager. Voyager was just an opportunity because of the Reddit stuff and the mass demand. I thought, you know what, I've just made a ton of money. Frick it, give us it. You know, at the end of the day, I'm full time in the space. Obviously, you can see that. In some ways, it's nice to have something I can just sit back and relax, and I don't have to worry too much about other things. It's nice to secure the bag essentially. Then I can allow my core holdings to work harder over time and the bigger positions anyway. So it makes much more sense. At the end of the day, the development of RSR is going to get bigger and better when mainnet comes out. It hasn't had a mainnet yet. What could happen to this? It could absolutely freaking moon, essentially. It could. I see this into the billions in the not too distant future, already on our way there. At the end of the day, it's a time thing. They've got a lot of developments coming out, and if you've never heard of reserve rights, definitely check it out because of the way it works and how it's got a use case for real world usage. I think it's one of the best out there in terms of fundamental usages at all costs for supply and demand of people that actually need something. That's really, really good. Let's have a little Q. Why buy altcoins that don't match the Ethereum or BTC ROI? I don't quite understand your question there. I could have sworn a lot of coins have done some absolutely monstrous moves. Price target of RSR still 50 cents. You know something, I wouldn't put it past it at all to get even. I wouldn't shock me if it got way beyond 50 cents in a bull run. We are in a bull market at the end of the day, but we haven't had a parabolic cycle yet. We've not had that big boom drop in BTC dominance, allowing altcoins to really spill and go bananas. Essentially, that's what we want. If that happens, coins like this that are, in my opinion, great marketing, great use case, and low price for people to hurtle into, they always catch people out, don't they? Look at XRP, how that mooned in the past. You know, that's important as well. It's got great branding as well. It's got a good community behind it too. I'm new to a bull market. Could you tell me when I should sell alts for Bitcoin? When the dominance goes really low or you've made a ton of money. That's the only way you can do it. You've got to realize profits. You've got to realize money. If you've made a life-changing sum of money from a very, very small amount, or even just a modest amount, it's nothing's going to last forever. If you've got an opportunity to make, say, your yearly salary in a job in like less than 3 months, you know, you've got to. In my opinion, that is like that should be a trigger. And I'm seeing people in the Learning Crypto group going from 4 figures, low 4 figures into 5 figures, and going from 5 figures potentially going into 6 figures. That's a very, very small period of time to do it. If you did this in the traditional markets, and this is why we're talking about, you know, wealth and crypto, it's the quickest vehicle known to anything, unless you're a scam artist, obviously. You know, investing. It's ridiculous. It really is. It's quick. You try putting like 10 grand into dividends or bonds or ETFs in the traditional markets, you're not going to get anywhere near a return. But put it into a good solid altcoin at a low price because you've dollar cost average and you've spent a few nights researching it and you've used money you can afford to lose. And all of a sudden, over a period of 3 months, because it's an alt season, it's gone up 40, 50%. That's a lot. But they don't go up 40, 50%. We know that. They go up way more. They go 400, 500, 10,000 freaking million%. It's ridiculous in terms of that threshold. Look at Graph. It's done, what, 800% in 26 days? What? It's ridiculous at the end of the day. But you've got to be realistic. You've got to listen to your inner brain, essentially, to kind of think to yourself, how much is it? What is a market cap? You know, people coming out with absolutely ludicrous predictions like Dogecoin to $2. Fuck off. Like, how? It's literally never going to happen because of the way it works. You see people talking about certain coins that just don't make sense in terms of it's going to go from that much to $600 trillion in market cap. No, come on, do your maths. Just understand how it works. But yeah, it's honestly the people in the space. You are in the best position ever if you understand the market. It's hard though. And a lot of people think it's easy because we're in a current phase right now of alt season and everything's really bullish. But when it's bearish, you're going to hate it because it's a different game. It's a different game. You've got to live through the cycles. In a bear market, you've literally got to sit on your hands. You've got to wait in stable currency, wait for the market to dilute itself a little bit in terms of, you know, losses. Weak hands will sell and then build your positions up again. But you can earn interest on certain things like stable currency. You can also, in a bear market, and most people haven't worked this out just yet, the dominance chart still works in a bear market. You will still have periods where they will have alt seasons even when the prices of USD are going down, so you can still accumulate Bitcoin. It's perfect. One Satoshi is always one Satoshi. It doesn't matter what happens with the USD prices. Getting quite excited about this market though. I know most people tend to question my emotions, if I do have any emotions. I do. I just like to keep things on a nice level playing field because it gets pretty damn scary. Obviously, because other YouTubers like to use emergency, big face and thumbnails that look stupid. Nearly 1,000 people in here. That's absolutely awesome. But yeah, if you are new to the channel, subscribe. Obviously, leave a like as well. It will help. I should get through some of these questions because there's absolutely loads. I maybe should have put a little bit of an extra timer on it because it's a bit crazy. What are my thoughts on Algo and Cosmos? I like Cosmos. I've not really looked at Algo for a long time. I know Cosmos has a lot of usage with exchanges. But yeah, there's a lot of good platforms out there that are coming to the fore as well. A lot of people getting interested in certain things. But yeah, for me, you know, the problem with me is I like a lot of the application, the ecosystems. I don't want to hold too many of them. Atom is definitely one that I would have bought if I wasn't in so many though, because I've always kind of had a little bit of I like the branding of it. I think it's really quite neat and tidy. Doge to $10, definitely not. Oh God, questions. Do you know when the BTC dominance high and lows? How do you know? Oh, how do you know? So if you go on to TradingView, the easiest way of doing it is on this. I will show you on CoinMarketCap. You go to index and BTC.D. That is it. This is a chart. So historically, you can use support and resistance levels. Essentially, this is what I've got. Really, really simple sort of stuff. Higher time frames. This is high. In the period of time from where it's been low, this is high. It's obviously been higher, but the market was different then. What we're doing now, we're forming a downtrend. We're going down. So ideally, if we get down to 57, that'd be nice. But all of this is done through Fibonacci levels, essentially through sequences of market sentiment. So when you start looking at certain things, you can kind of see why things have kind of stopped, which are weird. In a way, it's weird in terms of how it works. But if we're looking at potentially where can it go for extensions right now in a pullback, you know, we're already thinking here, this is where these levels are. We're already at the floor. We're literally done a one-to-one retrace from this point here. Obviously, we can go even further if we want to, but at the same time, we've bounced at the same level. We've still got them, and they still all marry up with other extension levels, as you can see here. So 52, the best case scenario is 46. We could actually go much lower than that into other weirder territories, but that's all going to happen at some point over a period of weeks, maybe even months. We've got to be careful. Other questions. Is Ethereum to $10,000 realistic? Yeah, it's realistic. I don't think it'll happen this year, though. Maybe. I don't know. To be honest with you, I've been saying for a while, I don't think Ethereum will go over $2,000 for a while. And it kind of, I'm going to shoot myself in the foot by saying this. I said that in December. And yeah, it's up a lot, but it's been sat at this level for such a long time. And when you look at the Ethereum BTC chart, if it breaks above this level here, I've mentioned this before on lives, this is like from August, September time, 2018. Once it breaks that level, it will rocket, it will fly, and especially if Bitcoin stays at the same sort of price. So it'll rocket up to probably this level, this previous level, up at these regions up here. So that could be interesting. So yeah, it probably will rocket at some point. If Ethereum goes, the rest of the market is just going to go with it. It's going to go crazy. Even if Bitcoin stays still, it'd be pretty cool. Polkadot could be going even higher soon. That'd be nice. Need a breakout at this level. Breakout at this level on the BTC chart, it goes moon. Moon. Questions. Can Zilliqa get to $2? Yeah, I think so. Over time, yeah. Because $2 Zilliqa, realistically, it's still a tiny fraction of what Ethereum is and what probably a tiny fraction of what Polkadot will be. And it's essentially a much better blockchain and build than what Ethereum is. Yeah, obviously, time in the market is obviously a big thing. Branding as well with Ethereum. But sometimes people go for the technology at the end of the day. If it's got layer 1 sharding, pretty damn good at the end of the day. Ooh, I got so many questions. It's absolutely unbelievable. Which is good. Shows channel growth, obviously. What wallets do I use? I tend to use a ledger. Ledgers are mainly my thing. Liquid finance on the Cardano DeFi. Yes, I've heard of it. I've not had a good look at it yet, though. It's something that I do need to have a look at. I'm not looking at SparkPoint because that gets shilled on my Twitter every 10 seconds. Not good. If you shill coins, by the way, I will ignore you because nothing worse. It's crap for users that want to watch this and learn from it. If you copy and paste in the same message over and over, I'm just going to ignore you. I want realism, please. Sell Cardano. That's a good question. The reason why I'm going to address this one, I've got my Cardano waiting to potentially be sold at some point if it hurdles again. And what I mean by hurtles and flies, I bought at 3 cents. So I bought at 3 cents. I'm sitting there with a little bag. It's a decent sized bag now, let's be honest. But I do feel that this will go much higher in the short term with all these information kind of little birdies telling me. I've got a feeling that there's going to be a Twitter announcement soon for Cardano. I've just got a feeling that it's all related to Twitter. I do feel that this is currently could go much higher. It could. I personally think this could double in price from this point now, and that isn't too unrealistic considering where it's been in the last altcoin bull run in 2018. You know, $1.33, and that's 31% away with a much more substantial product. That's huge. Huge, I say. The reason why I say that is because in 2017, this pumped to that level without anything at all. So, can it go much higher? Probably. Will I sell it if it goes $1.30, $2 maybe? Definitely, because sometimes you just got to secure the bag. And when you buy it something like 3 cents, it's like crazy. You know, it's unbelievable. But yeah, I got that in my Blockfolio. I'll tweet that later. I like to show that one because it's quite a funny one. I didn't really put much into it neither. Annoying. I wish I put like 10 grand and the cat in it. Don't even have a cat. I'll just steal a cat. Hello. Questions. People talking about Reef. I've mentioned Reef loads. I rate it a lot. I do feel it'll be $1 billion in some distant future. Well, not even in distant future. Could be in the next 6 months, the way the DeFi market is going. In terms of DeFi, just to give you a pointer, this is going nuts, by the way. Look at it. Might refresh it. Don't know if it updates every day. Well, it's gone down a little bit. But it's just crazy. You think DeFi, Polkadot, Reef. Cool. So that could be very, very interesting. Overall. Questions. Do you like Neo? Not really. I used to, but they've not really done much, let's be honest. It's been a bit stale, hasn't it? My top 3 picks for 2021. Oof. If we're talking wealth building and undervalued, I will say RSR, covered it just before, Reef, Zilliqa, because they're all lower. They've all got good use cases. They've all got good technology behind them. So go for it. You know, yes, I could say the easy thing and say Polkadot, but at the same time, you've got to remember Polkadot's 20+ billion. If we're thinking let's make some money and wealth, you want to buy at least 1 or 2 Polkadot ecosystems. I always do like to say, though, buy the haystack and not look for the needle, but you've got to also pay attention to what's good. You know, at the end of the day, if it's on a good network, if it's on a good system, it'll do all right, especially if there's no fees and high throughputs, obviously. It's great to see so many people on a Friday. My next live is on a Sunday. Usually get more on a Sunday because it's a different timing. Wow, there's so many unbelievable questions. I definitely need to put my thing up a little bit. And also, don't forget to like the video. It does help a lot. What's your favorite altcoin under 50 million? Now you're asking me a question that is an interesting one. Shall we go digging? Let's go digging. Let's get the spade out. There we go. That's under 50 million. You know something? That company emailed me very, very recently asking me for a promotion. I kindly declined because I hate it. I did a token. I did a video on sharing as one of my top picks for 2021. The world is gone to shit. The world is crap, right? I don't know if you know, there is a pandemic, and that is basically around the, not so much around the world of traveling, but there's isms to traveling and other things. That could be a good one when the world takes off again. Pluton token is 5 million market cap. I like that a lot. Reason being because payment cards, and it's pretty decentralized in a way. In terms of lower cap coins, I've not looked for a long time. This by the way, down here, this is like a dark room. It's like I've never been down here for such a long time. Some people love lower cap coins, love them. Personally, I like them, but I don't hold too many of them. I hold literally one, and probably another one soon, depending on when the world comes back, which I just mentioned, which is obviously sharing. The one that I realistically would love to do very, very well and compare it to like the Swissborg is Pluton. It's tiny. It's not even on many exchanges yet. It's got such a small supply. It's a payment processor coin, which does work on a card and through UK bank and whatnot and all kinds of stuff like that. It's pretty decent, very much under the radar. But that being said, that is only because I use it. I've got the card literally right there in front of me. So there's no point me going too deep into it until they start releasing their further products, which would be pretty damn good. Photon XLM. It's all right. We've got some nice things coming. Obviously, central bank digital currencies in certain places are on their network, which is always good. I obviously prefer it more than XRP. But yeah, it looks all right. Do you have any target prices for Plu token? It's a long-term hold. The reason why I say that is because it in my opinion, I think it could do a Swissborg and go up to like these sort of levels, which is a long way away. You know, it could, 100x maybe? I don't know. We'll see. But, when you start looking at, applications of use but decentralized and it works with multiple different things, great, crack on. At the end of the day, it may well be under the radar. But it's a low cap coin. Low cap coins are incredibly volatile and incredibly risky, so you only just use a small baggage. What about SafePal? Not looked at it yet. Need to look into it. And again, all kinds of stuff. Thanks for the tip, Marco. Could I have a look at? I've seen this mentioned. I've seen this on Twitter recently. It's only just came out, hasn't it? It has only just came out. We'll have a little look, see. Why not? If it works. This is where we find out that it's done a massive monster rug pull. World's first hybrid liquidity aggregator. Oh, hello. DeFi. In all honesty, I've literally seen a few people tweet about it, and that is as far as I've gone with it. And literally, it's a very generic website. It's got a lot of hype at the moment. So who knows what could happen with this. It needs a new website though. The website is pretty guff. But hey, I don't know. Everyone has an opinion on coins these days. The biggest thing though, hype will always drive a price of a market. No matter how good it is or how bad it is, if it's hyped up to hell, it will move. That's where it catches new people out. But I don't know much about it. I need to do some more research on that one. But I have seen certain YouTubers and certain Twitter people talk about it very, very recently. When is the Ethereum Zilliqa bridge happening? Very soon. The delay was due to the ERC20 crossover. So what they've been doing is they've been basically rescuing people's ERC20 tokens from the mainnet swap. That's the first implementation of it, and then the next one will be a rollout to everyone essentially using the exchange, which would be pretty damn decent. What do you think the top 10 coins will be further down? Hold on, let me read that again. What you think the top 10 coins will be further down this bull run? I think AVE could be a top 10 coin. I think Stellar will be a top 10 coin as well if they get more central bank digital currencies on board. You could even argue a few of the other coins like Graph may well get budged in there. Even SNX has got a very, very good use case and could find itself growing even further. That's the thing. In my opinion, there's a lot of CAC in that top 10. I think Litecoin can get binned. I would even argue XRP might not even last as long in there as much as we want it to in some ways, because it is actually quite decent in terms of its use case. It's fast, it's cheap to use. But you got to think, will it grow further than some of the DeFi coins? Will it grow further than some of the other coins out there that have got a bigger use case where they can get multiple levels of volume and use case and application usage, which will obviously impact the price and the volume? So I don't know. And I'm not a fan of, essentially CoinMarketCap doing the Doge price at the top and Tesla at the top. It's just just a pain in the ass, isn't it? Just one of those things. But yeah, I do think a few of the DeFi coins will probably get squeezed into that top 10. They're not that far away. Like a big run again, like the last alt season, we may well see some crazy moves, which will be pretty damn exciting, realistically. God, there's so many questions. It's ridiculous. I need a PA. PA? A VA? Virtual assistant? I need a virtual assistant. Ambrose. Or Ambrosus. I've not looked at this for ages. In my opinion, I think it's pretty dead. I think it's died. I'm not going to lie. It's only 15 million. I'd be careful with that one. I'd be very careful with that one. Could be alright, but in a market so bullish and it's not moved yet, warning signs. Samuel, yes. So, I also got a shock the other day as well, right? So, about 3-4 weeks ago, I had some random stuff on Binance. And they're just from like little affiliate links of people buying underneath me and whatnot. Link below if you want to get into Binance and save on fees. But I had like a small amount of it, and I think it was about 2.5 BNB when I put all my dust together. And this was like when Binance Coin was like less than $40 at the time. I looked a few days ago and I was like, what on earth has happened? Just went crazy. Unbelievable. But yeah, new people, price action, volume, utility. Boom. It always creates for good price action. Always does. That's why Voyager went nuts. And this is why the likes of Dogecoin won't, because it's got an infinity supply. For anyone out there, there's a lot of people asking me questions about coins I've never heard of, by the way. So I'm going to be very, very selective of what I pick here. Do you still hold VeChain? I do not. Any love for basic attention token and nulls? Nulls not so much, but basic attention tokens are alright. I've got like 130 quid in basic attention token laying on my uphold from browser adverts, which I'll be honest with you, I can't send it because Ethereum is stupidly overpriced in fees, as you can see. Basic attention tokens getting some sunlight at the moment. Questions on... A lot of people from Elrond are here. Hello, everyone. Guys, if you're new as well, please do subscribe, hit the bell button. A video coming tomorrow. I don't know what to do a video on yet, but I'm going to do a Saturday video. Band protocol, that's a good shout. I prefer Band over Chainlink, I'll be honest. I don't know. If you're looking at Chainlink, you should realistically be looking at Band. I think the money multiples, as I've been saying at the start of this video, in terms of creating wealth, look at Band. You know, why not? What is wrong with looking at Band or even API 3? You know, solid partnerships. Oracles are not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Look at the success of Chainlink. Can Band catch up with it? In my opinion, it should. It should. Whether it does or not is another thing. But at the end of the day, you know, Oracles are pretty useful in the blockchain space. Needed requirements for making things better. And people are saying API over Band. Potentially. We've obviously got now a lower cap coin of the same sort of entity, essentially, but this is a little bit different, works in a different way. But, you know, if you fancy Oracles and you fancy like the blockchain side of it with Oracles involved, and you're not, you know, at the end of the day, Chainlink's Chainlink. It's already had its big, massive run, and you got to think price action. You know, will you become a millionaire with Chainlink? Well, no. If you put $1,000 into API 3 and it does a massive monster run, you're going to make something more substantial than $1,000 in Chainlink, for example. You got to weigh up those options. You got to weigh up those alternatives. At the end of the day, you got to look at where certain things have been and why they go there. If there's a big, massive bench setter at the top and they're going to close that gap essentially and, you know, reduce that market capitalization, the more money is in those lower ones, which is kind of cool. Yeah, EOS is a great asset to move money around. EOS and XRP is always pretty fast. Nano is fast as well. There's a few other ones. XLM's pretty decent and speedy. Obviously, Ethereum's a bag of shit. Bitcoin's pretty slow and sluggish as well, which we all know about. Bitcoin Cash, is it dead forever? In all honesty, I kind of celebrated a little bit when it went out the top 10 because I honestly just don't see the point of it. Like, you know, when I was thinking back to 2017 and all the shenanigans of this, it was just crazy how mental it went and how it was literally free money. It was great at the time. It was like unbelievable to get so much free money out of it. But when you look at it now, you think, oh, yeah, whatever. It's just like, why? It just confuses things because people go Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Cash. Talk about Reef. I've talked about Reef loads, man. Polygon, Matic. Now, I've been critical of Matic in the past because of its jurisdiction. The reason why I say it is because India are proposing a ban, and this is predominantly an Indian currency. Well, not so much a currency, but an Indian-backed coin, essentially. The team's got a lot of people from India there. I think it's got an office in India as well. That can be a little bit of a problem when you think about jurisdiction in a banned country of cryptocurrency. So that's why I kind of don't really like it that much for an investment. I do think it's good, but for me to put money into it, it's not really the sort of thing that I'd go for. That's personally me, you know. At the end of the day, use cases are good. It works. It's a requirement at the end of the day. But if it's a part of a country that is essentially, you know, banned from doing cryptocurrency activities, it's never going to be good. You know, it could work out pretty horrible at the end of the day, but it could also be absolutely fine. It's just one of those things. It's not for me, not worth the gamble, but everyone's different. But I've followed it for a while. I do like it. Thanks for the tip. Am I familiar with Unistake? I kind of am and I'm kind of not. I've looked at it a little bit. It's relatively newish, but at the same time, a lot of coins like this will do well over this period of time, I think. I think we're going to get another DeFi boom. I think we're going to get another run. And we start speaking about, obviously, this essentially. You know, this is going to get higher. We're going to be hitting 50 billion plus soon. And we're going to get 100 billion plus. And all these coins, these competitors, in like a Unistake, for example, are going to do well because it uses that core functionality. We all know where it is. You know, providing liquidity, staking, basically Uniswap alternatives. So we're going to see loads of these. We're going to see loads of these farming opportunities to make money, pooling stakes, all kinds of stuff. So, you know, if you're backing stuff and you're happy to back things that are a lower market cap, could be absolutely crazy gains in the future. for anyone, especially if you look at the fundamentals of why Uniswap's so good and so bad in some ways as well. It opens up a lot of places. What have we got? Reef staking, I've not looked at it. Personally, I won't be staking. I'm not the biggest fan of staking. I prefer value appreciation versus staking. So I stake a bit of Zilliqa and I lend money. Lending's different to staking, because staking essentially is there for the security of the network in some cases, especially like Ethereum 2.0, Zilliqa, Cardano, etc. For me, value appreciation's king. If you've got to get locked up for a period of 6 months or a year in some cases, which I think Reef are actually proposing, you know, if the price action goes up loads and you're sitting on it and then it goes down, you're going to kick yourself, because at the end of the day, what this video is all about, wealth building, taking profits. You know, the worst feeling in the world, and I can guarantee you will feel the exact same if you've got, like, say for example, you bought a load of Reef, right? And let's just say, hypothetical, it did a 50x. And you got life-changing sums of money, but you can't remove it. It's the worst feeling in the world, it really is. And I've been in that position before with certain things back in 2018, where I had stuff locked up. I've seen people in not too long ago with Crow.com, Crypto.com, sorry, Crow, where they put like 10, 20 grand in, and they were locked up for 6 months, and then it just went, whoa, it just hurtled off a cliff. It's dangerous. That's the only thing with it. So, could be interesting. If India bans crypto, how would it affect the market? In all honesty, I don't know. I think we've had that much information and news about India coming out with this and threatening it for like basically years. You know, it could get interesting, but I think there's worse things to worry about, essentially. I'm just going to go to the dot chart because it's absolutely ballooning right now. Polkadot is flying. We're going to hopefully break above this level. $28 dots. Ah, that $4 buy order was lovely. Can you tell why I like dot? It's great. Honestly, guys, on my Twitter, follow me on Twitter. I'm quite vocal on it. I was screaming at people, buy dot below a $5. Below $5, it's free money, and look at that. It's crazy. Questions. I'm not looking at SparkPoint, mate. Honestly, I get that many requests of SparkPoint. It always questions me when people have to shill a coin loads to get my attention. I do think Cardano is going to rip higher. That's why I'm waiting before pulling the trigger. I will. I've already said it. I will sell it though. If it goes bananas and goes like $1, $2 levels, I will sell it because I bought at 3 cents at the end of the day. Check Atom. I'll have a little look at Atom pricing. I've not looked at Atom for a long time actually. I think I've got it on here somewhere. There we go. Atom BTC. Wow, this looks pretty damn good. Let's do some analysis, eh? Why not? So if we're looking to retrace some levels, so obviously we formed another low here. We're gonna carry on going hopefully. But if we're looking at a retracement of this level, we've just tapped. Wow, that's crazy. The 50% mark on the button on the nose here. So we could be looking at potentially going higher, maybe at this level, which would be obviously quite good. But we're currently at a level of resistance here. It's kind of important. But it's had a monster run. They're the two levels of interest that you want to get involved in. If you're looking at USD pairs, it's probably going to be a lot higher. There we go. Crazy moves. You know, with the BTC chart, if this carries on going up, obviously the USD chart will go up even more. So if you're even looking at the bottom level of the start of this move to this top, this is a weekly time frame. You know, could go higher. It could go much higher. But you got to wait for the close. But that is a monster of a move, by the way. Monster of a move. Everything's looking bullish. Very, very bullish. Very, very bullish. Looking good. Ooh, exciting times. Polkadot is going on an absolute rip. You know it's bullish when XRP is pumping. Lols. I think a lot of coins are going to go even higher soon. I think there's a lot of coins that are sitting at levels of resistance on the BTC pairings, ready to break out. Obviously, we've just seen what happened with RSR. We're going to see probably the same with Zilliqa. We're going to see the same with Ethereum. If Ethereum goes, boom, we are shooting to the moon, essentially. What other questions have we got? It's great to have so many people on here, by the way. Please do, if you've not yet done so, like the video. There's over 1,000 people and only 469 likes. Why is that 69 number such a prominent one? What have we got? We've got loads. If doing dollar cost average, what DeFi coins would you pick? For me, obviously, I've mentioned Reef quite a lot. Would be one of them. In terms of that, not many. You know, if I'm thinking ecosystems, if I'm thinking stuff like that, I would dollar cost average in something like Compound. You know, a bigger cap coin, less volatile. Get a good position. But for me, I don't really look that deep in terms of what the newer ones are, other than what Polkadot are kind of doing, because I'm kind of sick of Ethereum essentially with the fees and stuff. So that's why I've kind of lumped in that. But there's loads. There's so many out there, but you got to pick them selected picking. Thoughts on beta, or beta as people like to say. You know something? Oops, I don't even know how much beta is, you know. Ooh, weekly. Oh god, hold on a minute. Jesus. Pretty decent. Monster uptrend that. That isn't a monster uptrend. That could go higher. That could definitely go higher. Once it breaks out, could get very, very, very interesting. But yeah, I would probably say that's overvalued. But for me, I don't know. I know it's quite high in market cap. What is it? Oh, there it is. You know what? I covered this on my YouTube at 10 cents and I wish I bought it. What a clown. Never mind, but yeah, you'd probably argue this is probably overvalued. This is the sort of thing that I wouldn't be, for me anyways, I wouldn't be buying it. I'd be looking for something smaller, especially if you're looking to create some wealth. But if you've been in this for such a long time, you'd be flush right now. Very much flush. Good buy order at Polkadot there for 500. That's good. Easy gains to 1 million. There's lots of places you can go for that. There's loads of questions. Chainlink's a weird one. I've been critical of Chainlink by saying I don't think it'll do as well this year versus the last 2 years. Chainlink had a monster run in 2019 and 2020. It has to carry on. It has to match its previous years. So I was saying that Chainlink already 11 billion or 11.5 billion. It's got a long way to go even to kind of cement its place in the top 10. There may well be other coins that could push it a little bit out of the way, but we'll see. You know, at the end of the day, the BTC pair of Chainlink is undervalued. I think it will pop, but will others below it go further? Maybe. I don't know. Depends how restricted it is. At the end of the day, how much revenue can it make? How much utility has it got when it is fully functional? That's questions that we can't answer yet. So it could be interesting to see what happens this year. Is Neo dead? I'm not sure, but I've not heard anything from them for a long time. Again, it's another one that hasn't really pumped with the market, which kind of brings me to suggest some things not quite as well. Some things may not be flush. Obviously, it has gone up a little bit, but when you look at the BTC pair, it's not really moved much. You know, it's gone up what, by 50% maybe. So yeah, there's been a lot more coins that have flown up a lot further than that, which you've got to be obviously dubious about. So many people here, it's great. But as I say, there will be a top video tomorrow. I want to show that comment. If Justin Sun touched it, it's shite. Yeah. Did you see Lindsay Lohan did a tweet about Tron yesterday? And he literally went, I'll send you something nice. I'm hoping it wasn't a dick pic, because that could have been fun. Views on Sparta, I've not even looked at it. I know Andy's got it, Operation Crypto. But for me, you know, I don't want to have too much baggage at this point. There's your spark point. So yeah, I've looked at this a little bit, but not much. I know people are talking about it's done monstrous moves. That's a thing. The biggest problem with life and any life, especially in crypto, is the fact that there's so many coins out there. You could probably argue this could do something very, very good because of what it is. That being said, DeFi is huge. So you could probably compare this to the likes of, you know, a lot of things actually in the market. That's crazy. It's a monster move though. That is a monster of a move. 13 million market cap up to 68 million very, very quickly too. Lindsay Lohan was paid, 100%. Paid with bloody shitty Tron. Yeah, watch out for Polkadot scam projects. There's going to be a lot out there. There's already been a few knocking about. Are you really a mobster? Isn't that illegal? No. I'm not a very good mobster if I'm public. Also, I'm not very well dressed, am I? Reef's gonna moon soon, probably. Hopefully. BTC peak cycle. You know something? BTC is an absolute enigma. In my opinion, anyways, an enigma. The reason why I say that is because it tends to just do freakish things. We all know that. Local tops, don't know where that could be. $50,000 would be a big barrier, I think. But then again, once you go past 50,000, then you got 100,000. You got to think as well, how many people are tweeting about Bitcoin? The trends are going through the roof. People are buying it at a mass scale. Even miners are selling to people that want to just buy it. That's important. So yeah, it could get very, 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 very interesting very, very quickly if Bitcoin goes to a certain level. But I don't want it to happen. I want Bitcoin to stay steady for a bit to let altcoins run, and then it'll make the life much better for everyone because people just get absolutely fucked basically. TRX BTC seems undervalued. It probably is because it hasn't really pumped for a while. Oh god. Questions. Reef isn't a scam. There's too many backers. Far too many backers. If that rug pulls, my word, the whole entire market would crash because there's a lot of money invested in that. When you look at the backers, some good money into it. Also, you got to think Polkadot's a bit different. You think about the world of Ethereum and ERC20, how many scams are on there. Polkadot works a little bit different. It's not on a parachain yet. Once it's on a parachain, that'd be even better. Thought I was illegal and dangerous. Nah. Some random questions today. It's always fun though. I like to laugh at people sometimes in my head. Have I ever bought a scam? Yep, I have. Bought, well, two coins that completely done me over. But it's in the past now. That's probably one thing as well. A lot of people give me a little bit of credit for realism and like telling people to buy the obvious instead of like, you know, at the end of the day, you always got to use that element of risk. That risk is always profit, in my opinion. Don't use money you can't afford to lose. But there will be stuff that will do you. If you are following certain YouTubers, they're getting paid for it, don't buy them. Because yes, they may well pump short term, but if it rug pulls on you, you're lost. You've lost essentially. So you got to be careful. Anyways, I'm going to go soon. I've been here for an hour and 10 minutes. It's been a long, long time. If you are new to the channel, obviously subscribe. Videos coming tomorrow and another live on Sunday where we'll talk about the upcoming future market. But in terms of questions, it's kind of hard to keep up, I'll be honest with you. There's loads of questions. Good to see people buying Sparta. Good to see people buying stuff at lows, to be honest with you. The biggest thing that you need to talk about in terms of if you're recommending people to crypto, try get people to buy at a correct level, not just hurtle into it. The reason being, those friends, those people that you know as friends, probably won't be a friend for much longer if this market crashes on you. At the end of the day, all these bigger YouTubers, in my opinion, will probably lose a lot of followers if they're recommending crap and they rug pull on people or they just die in the market. Risk-free money. Buy dollar cost averaging and understand dollar cost averaging essentially in that way. Buying the dips and ultimately taking profits. That's why we're here. Profits are king. No one goes broke taking profits. I've already showed you some of my profits from my smaller holds. They're important to me because, you know, at the end of the day, I can use that equity now to put it somewhere else. If something comes out tomorrow and I like it, I can buy it. that gives me a much better position and a much better chance for success. But at the end of the day, there will be people on here that will get absolutely and utterly wrecked, and people do think this industry is easy. It's not. And I'm just watching Polkadot go to $29 right now, which is absolutely monstrous. Jeez Louise. Break that level and we're off on a new price discovery mission. This is a problem with extension levels on fibs. You don't get much data when they're flying through the levels. You're just going to carry on going. But yeah, I'm going to leave now. Thank you very much for joining, by the way. Again, subscribe, like, and we'll do some pretty awesome content over the weekend.